Let me be the first to welcome you to the Hawks Nest. The volleyball doubleheader this weekend here at the Humber College North Campus Gym concludes with our headlining act. The final game of the weekend, the Humber Hawks men's volleyball team taking on the Boréal Vipers here. And my broadcast partner, Manny Kalra, is going to help illustrate the fact that the Hawks didn't get off to the start they wanted to this season, 0-2 against some of the best teams in the country between Niagara Knights and the Fanshawe Falcons. Hawks getting in the win column yesterday with that win against Cambrian and looking to get up to 500 with a win here today against the Vipers.
Yeah, you took a look at the standings in the OCAA West. Humber right now is sitting 1-2 in 10th place, coming off the OCAA Provincial Championships last year. And first time since 1988, they started the season 0-2. Like you said, getting the first win, looking to get back in the win column here at home court. Humber Hawks looking to find the way.
One of those key players for the Hawks yesterday in that first win of the season, Gabriel Mendez, who's a fresh face, first-year player by way of Brazil. Really a fantastic performance yesterday, and a couple of those young guys for Humber, including Mendez, having some great performances. Be very interesting to see how some of those young guys follow up those strong performances with that first win that we saw on our Saturday evening broadcast here on the Hawks Sports Network. It's great to have you with us here on HSN, and we'll have the player introductions for Boreal's team in just a moment.
Humber Hawks.
We'll step aside.
It's now time for the starting lineups. First for the visiting Boreal Vipers. A 6'2" left side at a Hamner, number 5, Alexander Leisure. A 5'7" middle at a Sudbury, Ontario, number 6, Kevin Watson. A 6' middle at a Hanmer, number 8, Sam Samir. A 6'2" right side out of Sudbury, number 12, Jacob Demore. And a 5'6" center out of Chelmsford, Ontario, number 15, Tyler Roussel. The head coach for the Boreal Vipers is Brian Welch. And now, the starting lineup for your Humber Hawks, as put together by head coach Wayne Wilkins. A 6'8" middle out of Sudbury, Ontario, number 3, Maximum Crowder. A 6'3" outside hitter out of Scarborough, Ontario, number 4, Jaden Mill. A 6'10" middle out of Rexdale, Ontario, number 10, Jaskarn Kelsey. A 6'7" outside hitter out of Brazil, number 12, Gabriel Mendez. A 6'6" center out of Oakdale, Ontario, number 13, Jake Gomes. A 6'8" middle out of Belleville, Ontario, number 17, Michael McAlpine. Your starting libero out of Brampton, Ontario, number 8, Kyle Gray Phillips.
You heard it there. The player introductions for the Humber Hawks, and we are all set to go here. Final game of the weekend at this volleyball doubleheader. Saturday, Sunday volleyball action here at Humber College concludes this afternoon. So, Manny, we talked about the big contribution we've seen from the first-year guy, Gabriel Mendez. Now, yesterday's player of the game for the Humber Hawks in that win against Cambrian was Michael McAlpine. First-year guy from Belleville, standing at 6'8", and he was absolutely electric up front in terms of getting points for his team. But I'm really interested to see here how these players follow up that good performance from yesterday.
Yeah, the Humber Hawks men's team, similar to the women's team, is decorated all through and throughout. And any player can have a given impact on any given game day or any special day itself. Just a second ago, you had number 13 from the Humber Hawks on your screen. We'll get into his accolades a few minutes later, but the game is underway here.
And very quickly, the Hawks getting on the board. That serve from Tyler Roussel got the game going for the Vipers. And now, mentioned we had a chance to speak with Jake Gomes pre-game, and he really touched on just how much he takes pride in his serves. And there's one right there that is going to be good for the ace as that careens into the scores table.
Yeah, most definitely, and the reason why we brought him up, Jake Gomes, I mentioned him just at the beginning of the game here, leads the team with 1,338 assists and counting. And on top of that, earlier this season on October 22nd, became Humber's all-time leader in career service aces, and a testament to that was the service ace on the play before.
That's a good job up front by Kelsey and Mendez, and that sails out of bounds, so some strong play by the net for Humber will award them another point here. Now, interestingly enough, I asked Gomes, I said, you do so much well with your setting, your blocking, hitting at the net, and of course his serves. You know, what does he take most pride in? He said it is the serves. And that's not something he really came to Humber. There's a service ace, really fitting for the conversation we're having. He didn't come to Humber as this service, a master of ceremonies. This is really something he developed at Humber, and it's become such a strong part of his game and such a weapon for the Hawks.
Yeah, and that's the key, right? Developing players the right way and finding their niches, and that's what exactly the Hawks have done with Jake Gomes and many other players like Gomes, that allows the players on the roster to come in and be called upon any given time, any given situation, and they can come in and be a factor for the Hawks.
Humber's women's team beating the Vipers in the previous matchup here earlier this afternoon. Gomes doesn't quite get all of that one, putting it into the net. But a nice run of points for Humber to start the game. Now, in the women's game in set number 1, the Hawks scored 17 unanswered points to open set number 1. In this game, scoring 5 unanswered. Not quite the same magnitude, but a good start for the Hawks in both games, nonetheless.
It's funny you mentioned that in the women's game that there were 17 unanswered points, because I was just going to mention if Jake Gomes is going to put on a run and take the Hawks men's team on that run for the first serve to open the game.
A la Stephanie Armstrong. Michael McAlpine tried to get an arm on that shot. Does not work out for the Hawks, and another point for the Vipers. So Humber here in their 4th game of the season. Hoping for a win. That would take them to 2-2 on the year. Michael McAlpine picking up where he left off, and a big difference you see between these two teams. Humber certainly with a bit of a height advantage.
And there's a little bit of a conversation happening with the referee and the Boréal Vipers here.
Have a timeout call. Might have possibly an equipment issue or a lost contact lens is my suspicion.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna something to do with a Band-Aid, if I'm not wrong, in terms of references what was said there.
So the timeout called perhaps to buy some time for the Vipers, not wanting to lose one of their starting players here early in the set. Score here is 7-2 in favor of the Hawks. Humber winning their matchup, the women's side, moments ago here on the Hawks Sports Network in 3 straight sets. Now, as far as it goes, when we look at the schedule for the Boréal Vipers men's team, they are 0-3 on the season, having 0-4, having not won a set in any contest. And they have played some stiff competition. The Vipers taking on St. Clair to open up their season. Losing to Mohawk a little bit after that. Playing Redeemer, who we know is a good volleyball school. Redeemer beating Boréal 3 straight sets. And Boreal's most recent game was against Sheridan, where they also fell in that contest. So Manny, really the player in question for Cambrian is Tyler Roussel, and he's getting some work done on his eye just off camera there. So perhaps the Vipers, even despite calling this timeout, might be losing Roussel for a couple plays here.
Yeah, it looked like there was some bandage work. His left eye had some redness above it when they were calling the timeout, so I'm wondering what the issue was, or if there was an incidental contact with the ball or a player or something happened that caused this medical onset. But talking about the meeting between the Humber Hawks and the Boreal Vipers here, in the last 25 meetings, the Hawks have never dropped a set, let alone a game, to Boreal. So should be a strong contention and a momentum game here for the Hawks, as the two teams are very familiar with each other from past experiences, Matt.
So after some procedural stuff now, we will see Roussel checking out of the game. In his place will be Levi Nwowo.
The Hawks are going to switch out Kyle Gray-Phillips.
KGP. Jaskarm Kalsi serving it for the Hawks, and a quick heads-up play at the net. A couple of Boreal players coming together there. Had Yannick Laurent, Jacob Demore. As the Vipers are now trailing by 4 points, and the serve is coming up, and one of the players who was involved up front there is serving. That's Jacob Demore. And a good serve from Jacob. Now Gomes teeing up Michael McAlpine, and that is a player for the Hawks who's making a big impact here this weekend. So McAlpine, young player for Humber, and you got to think head coach Wayne Wilkins is liking what he's seeing out of the young player wearing 17 on his jersey.
Yeah, most definitely, and throwing him in there with Jake Gomes side by side, two of the tall players in there coming in for a perfection play. Jake Gomes with the deception or the fake out, and McAlpine coming in to finish that attack, getting Hawks the strong point and back on the serve.
So this game has involved quite a bit of delays as Jaden Benjamin checks into the game for Humber and has to first carefully take off his necklace.
And Jake Gomes coming off.
Some sports you can wear jewelry, some sports you cannot, Manny. Turns out volleyball, a jewelry-free zone.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you're close to the net. Last thing you want is loose jewelry getting caught in the
Tangled up in the mesh.
Tangled up, or yeah, player safety obviously being utmost importance.
Off the net play and put a little too much on that volley. Landing out of bounds by the volley from Alexandre Leger. And a serve from Jaden Benjamin into the net. And the Hawks now lead by 5. Yannick Laurent.
So a little bit of a fight back here from the Vipers, trying to stay in the game.
Certainly a strong start for Humber with those 5 quick points. But you said it, they have hung on to that 5-point lead, but some good back and forth play now. Benjamin setting it up. And a big play at the net. Unfortunately for the Hawks, not going to go their way.
Bafi Kongolo there coming in contact.
So a couple of bench players in the game right now. Congolo sends that over the net for Humber. And a play up front, nicely scooped up by Kyle Gray-Phillips, who's checked back into the game. Pardon me, that was not Kyle Gray-Phillips. That was Jaden Benjamin, who takes a hard blast there from the Viper front line. That lead for Humber has now shrunk to 3.
Yeah, a little bit of a fight back here from the Vipers, trying the Hawks not to let gain control and put a stranglehold in this game. As we mentioned, the Hawks are a tough competitor, especially in this building. It's tough to fight against them.
Set up here, and that play at the net well blocked between Maximum Crowder and Boffy Congolo. Stepping up now, Jaden Milne. Another play at the net. The Vipers elect for a soft touch, but they are called for a ball violation there. The double touch.
Double touch, double tap on the ball there. Try to get the ball over the net.
Double tap, good for Instagram when you're liking a photo. Not good on the volleyball court. Milne with a powerful serve, but he maybe put a little too much on that one in terms of distance. Now, Manny, a quick update. We do see Tyler Roussel on the bench for the Vipers. Has got sort of the bandage over the eye, like you had mentioned. Perhaps we'll see Roussel check into the game shortly.
Yeah, seem to have some. Seems that there might have been a cut there that might have caused some bleeding, but seems to be taken care of now.
Here's Crowder serving for Humber. Rotation violation against the Vipers. We'll hand that point over to Humber, who have reestablished their familiar 5-point lead.
Maximum Crowder, another veteran 4th-year player on this team.
Over the net now, set up, and a bit of a tight jam there, so the Vipers just hitting it over, and Kelsey stepping up for a beautiful shot there as Humber's lead grows to 6.
Yeah, Juskar Kelsey, Adam Antolin right now currently with Congolo standing in front of the net, making that wall for blocking shots coming their way. Or as they were called last season, the famous Wall of Humber.
The Great Wall. Now serving for the Vipers, Levi Nwowo. Well, he was about to serve, but checking back into the game is Roussel. And Roussel, fresh off getting his eye patched up, is looking pretty good with that serve. Jaden Milne stepping up with a big hit, unfortunately not making its way over the net.
Yeah, game stays close right now. 4-point game.
Again, we mentioned this is a Boreal College team that's still looking for their first set win on this winless season. Getting closer there with that mistake up front. Humber hitting it into the net, and their lead slowly dwindling away here. They were up by as many as 6. That's been cut in half now with a score of 13-10. A big move there, Mendez, and that'll be one of those players Humber looks to right now to drive in some offense. Kelsey can also take care of business. Jaskar Kelsey with a big blast there, and look who's checking back into the game now.
That's the Jake Gomes and McAlpine there.
So some good minutes for Jaden Benjamin and Boffy Congolo. But a lot of those starters moving back into the picture here, and Jake Gomes will be serving in this pretty close first set. And there's the ace for Gomes. And really, it is an interesting detail here that really serving not a huge part of his game before coming to his collegiate athletic career. Now he's probably one of the most feared servers in the province. That time, another rotation violation. So a couple of those early on here for the Boreal men's team. The official having a word with the head coach for the Vipers.
At that point, actually not going to count. There was an error, and it stays 15-10.
So the official made the wrong call on the rotation violation. Here's the big serve from Jake Gomes, finding that back line, and boy, sometimes you just got to watch that one go by. That was a very hard hit ball. Good enough for the ace there, Manny.
Talking about serves, Jake Gomes putting that one on a platter, says take this one back.
Oakville, Ontario's Jake Gomes. You really get the sense he's kind of feeling himself right now. That was another deadly ace. Manny, it looked like you liked that one.
That one was a hard serve that I believe caught the Boreal Viper player off guard, and easy service ace by Jake Gomes.
Handled nicely. Let's see if the Vipers can put an end to the service run from Gomes. They have a chance here. McAlpine not going to make it easy, so whether it's the serves from Gomes or some of the tall fellas up front for Humber, I mean, what a deadly unit you see there with those three up at the net for the Hawks.
Yeah, that's got to be intimidating when you're the opposition looking at that, not only in terms of size, but in terms of the power these players are able to fork out.
Yeah, Jaskar and Kelsey standing at 6'10". Michael McAlpine, who takes a slip. And that time the Hawks kind of benefiting, even though McAlpine took a slip. That's still good enough for a Humber Hawks point as the ball lands out of bounds.
Yeah, the referee called it as it was lifted or reached over the net on the side of Boreal Vipers, so Hawks getting that extra point.
Boy, Gomes is an exciting player to watch with these serves. Let's see what number 13 dials up now with Humber up by 10 and getting close to tasting a first set victory if things keep going the way they're going. Big blast, and you know, maybe I'll take some credit. I was talking to Gomes pre-game. We were just kind of pumping his tires about how good his serves are, so I'd like to take at least partial credit for this performance we're seeing right now. What do you think, Manny? Is that reasonable?
You were a participant in manifesting this score at this point, I would say.
I'm somewhat of a spiritual advisor to the young man.
I think we may have spoken a little too early as
yeah, ball don't lie.
That one catches outside the line there. But nonetheless, still a spectacular run there.
No doubt, as Humber now 4 points away, make that 3 points away from capturing set number one.
And this will be Gabriel Mendez.
Not really getting the serve he was hoping for there. Hawks lead now sitting at 10. Serving now for the Vipers, Sam Samur.
That one out of bounds, giving Humber another inch closer to getting this set under their belt, Matt.
Now serving for Humber, a young fella that does a lot for the Hawks up front. Lots of good hitting at the net from number 10, and we've seen him make some good serves in the past few games. However, that one just too long.
Okay, just catching the outside of the line there.
Jacob Demore now serving. Nicely done, but even better work up front by Maximum Crowder. And anytime you have, I don't know, 6 foot 8 inches to work with, and a good vertical jump, Crowder making it look easy.
Yeah, talk about the playing style of the Humber Hawks. They know exactly what they have to do, and again, similar to the women's volleyball team, it comes down from leadership that comes from top on above. We talked about Coach Chris Wilkins, who earned his victory with the women's team. Talk about brother Wayne Wilkins here for the men's team, who's also been the head coach for 27 years. So definitely knows what he's expecting of this team and where he'd like to take the roster.
And with that, service ace from Michael McAlpine. The Hawks capture set number 1. Pretty good performance from the Hawks, Manny. I mean, you can really highlight a couple different facets of the Hawks game. They saw some great blocking. So defensively, Humber really making it tough for the Vipers. But in terms of scoring and capturing set number 1 in such quick fashion, it's really all about those serves and some of those kills up front for Humber.
Yeah, you just got to look at it this way. The Hawks and the Vipers started the first set kind of on a similar level where it was a back and forth, and then the Hawks were able to just find their ground, and Jake Gomes, absolutely terrific from the service line, collecting multiple aces, running the score, and just extending the point streak, allowing the Humber Hawks to get the first set under their belt, look forward to the second one, and just absolutely on the right track in front of the home crowd or the Hawks. We talk about the crowd as this gym starts to get a little bit busier with some of the other athletes, family members, and other students coming in here to support their Humber Hawks men's volleyball team on this lovely Sunday afternoon. You see the Vipers in front of your screen having a conversation. Coach Welsh letting them know, getting them on the same page, and Coach Wilkins saying, great job and just keep doing what you're doing.
So set number 2 almost underway here, man. You see Hawks have already broken the huddle. It looks like we'll be seeing a few familiar faces. McAlpine out there, but the starting lineup will certainly be welcoming a couple of new players here as the Hawks maybe give some of those players like Gomes and Kelsey a rest, at least to start off the second set.
Yeah, right you are, Matt. Like we said, and again, it talks about the depth of the entire Humber Hawks roster, not just in terms of volleyball, but in sports in general. Humber has players that they can bring in any given day, any given game, at any particular point, any given situation, and they could be a factor. It really allows them to keep their players fresh, keep them rested, and just have a strong performance on the court.
Agreed, partner. And now the Vipers have broken their huddle, and we're about to get underway. So up front for the Hawks, we'll see Michael McAlpine, the first-year fella, stay in the game. Alongside him at that front line will be Bofi Congolo.
And the Hawks have switched sides, so they'll be going right to left on your screen this set.
So Congolo up front with McAlpine. Also in the mix there will be Kyle Gray-Phillips, KGP, Alec Loney. Serving right now, though, Jaden Benjamin. Great name. A setup there. Now, good effort by Jacob Demore, but right there were some of the big fellas for the Hawks. Congolo and McAlpine chipping in on the block, and another serve coming up now from Jaden Benjamin. JB.
Yeah, you talk about the size of this Humber Hawks roster, and it's got to be a factor in any opponents trying to build up an attack, because you have to factor the possibility of those attacks getting blocked by the Hawks and their tall players.
McAlpine blocked on his first attempt, but the second blast from number 17 in white, he made good. Hawks starting off set number 2 with a couple of points off the get-go. How about that play to keep things alive? Kyle Gray-Phillips with an outstanding dig. And a point for the Hawks due to a net violation.
Jacob Demore, I believe, accidentally getting in contact with the net, trying to keep that ball alive.
Electing for a softer touch that time as Jaden Benjamin does not quite make it over the net. And that'll be the Vipers' first point of the set here. Alexandre Leja with the serve. And heads up play to get it over, but the double touch, the double tap.
Great effort there. Great running effort there, I should say, by Jaden Benjamin, but
Benjamin sets up KGP.
and this
Take a second look at one of those most recent plays as the Hawks have been playing well up front. That's been a key to victory. But as we return to live action, a service ace for the Vipers.
and that's going to give them their first lead of the game, Matt. 4-3 now.
McAlpine just going to have to bump it over the net. Not able to do so. So now a 2-point lead for the Vipers. So the Hawks certainly introducing and injecting a lot of those bench players into the game here. Some of those less experienced guys. Always a good opportunity, Manny, to be able to get more players on the roster, some experience.
Yeah, most definitely. You have to, like I said, you have to keep the players involved in the game. And when you have players that are so skilled and so elite that anybody can come in at any given time, you have to, again, jumble your lines, jumble the roster, and make sure that everybody gets playing time, because otherwise you'll be going with the same veterans.
Kyle Gray Phillips showing that, hey, he's got a good serve as well. Set up here, and Congolo coming down on that ball. Boffy Congolo looking good, the second-year player by way of the Pac-Man Gold squad in Mississauga.
And the Hawks starting to take flight here in the second set.
Looking for that service ace. Kyle Gray Phillips will find it.
Yeah, nice serve there too. Just a little sinker, drops right after the net and caused Boreal Vipers some trouble on that one.
Another big serve from Kyle Gray Phillips. Set up now, a little too tight at the net, but I'd give full credit there as Safon Manning making something out of nothing. And Humber now establishes a 2-point lead. Set up at the net there, Yannick Lauren.
Yeah, ended up getting on that play there. Michael McAlpine ended up getting the ball kind of sandwiched between him and the net, causing some problems.
Sam Samir with the serve, and it looked like we had the Hawks reaching over to the opposing side, so that will be a violation charge to Jaden Benjamin and a point awarded to the visiting team, who are now with the serve here. Samir back, getting it over the net. Teeing it up, and a big blast stepping into the play, Safon Manning. And the Hawks now retake possession.
Take a look at that replay again. A big attack by Safon Manning that gets blocked but out of bounds. Just tells you how much power he has.
That serve from Boffy Congolo kind of got away from him. Now it's Jacob DeMoore serving for the Vipers. Into the net, so that will break the deadlock and put Humber back up by 1.
Yeah, pretty even set here so far. Boreal Vipers, similar to the women's game, have come out in the second set. A little bit more calm, collected, trying to not let Humber run away with this game.
The set that time just kind of fallen between the hands of Tyler Roussel. So McAlpine with his 6'8" frame, a big weapon for the Hawks at the net, but evidently can also get it done with the serves. As that ace finds the inside of the back line. Pretty close set here. Humber with just that 3-point lead. One more look at that service ace. As we're back to live action now. Too strong from Manning. So the Hawks are very much kind of trading points here, Manny, not really pulling away like we've seen in that first set.
And a beautiful deception play on that one there. Alec Loney. And right you are, Matt. They're not running away, but keeping the lead. It's a little bit of a closer set, like you said, but Humber still keeping the lead and displaying exceptional sportsmanship on the court.
Manning had to serve that time for Humber. And the point awarded to the Vipers. We're staying right in this one. Kevin Watson serving that time for Boreal. And a big blast there from Kyle Gray-Phillips.
Exchanging points one by one are the both sides here right now.
Loney with a nice looking serve, however, puts it out of bounds. Roussel now serving. Humber up at the net, and that play will be awarded to the Hawks with another net violation charge to the visiting team here. But I'll tell you what, it looked like Bafi Congolo was ready to tee up on that ball. Here's Jaden Benjamin getting the ball in play. Block attempt for the Hawks does not connect, however, that ball sent out of bounds.
Yeah, and going back to your comment about Congolo with the getting ready to set up there. We'll come back to that after this play, Matt.
Another serve there from Benjamin. Tough play at the net. Congolo doing a heads-up job, and Hawks really scrambling to keep that one alive. A couple players getting in the mix. We saw Jaden Benjamin, Michael McAlpine, but ultimately it will hit the hardwood.
Yeah, a little bit of a communication error there between the Hawks.
McAlpine doing a good job judging that serve that kind of came right off of the net. Now, the Vipers using a couple different unconventional ways to try to keep that ball alive. Manny, I think I saw a kick attempt, and we have some smiles there as that was a bit unorthodox.
Yeah, just trying to bicycle kick that into staying alive and trying to get it over the net, but unable to do so with the Vipers.
Kyle Gray-Phillips really putting his serving skills on display here this afternoon. Off the net play, that might have fallen out of bounds. Hawks elect to play it anyway. Off the net play for the Vipers is sent a bit too long.
Yeah, good rally there from both teams to keep that alive. Vipers unfortunately just putting that one over the outer line, and Humber pulling away or starting to pull away a little bit here now.
Yeah, no, 5-point lead will shrink to a 4-point lead with that service error. What was that you said about the Hawks pulling away, Manny? You jinxed it, dude.
Yeah, as soon as I said it and that happened, I was double guessing myself on that one, but
Now, I'll tell you what, you're right much more often than you are wrong, my friend. Manny, the Candyman Cholera.
well, I had faith in the Humber Hawks just like that. They get the ball right back and they're on the right track once
See,
again.
the Candyman strikes again. I got the best broadcast partner in the biz.
Can I say I make things sweet?
Boffy Congolo serving it for Humber that time. And sent out of bounds. And Congolo will get another attempt here.
Yeah, that one was just a matter of inches. That one came very close to being inside and catching the inside corner. But the Hawks get the benefit of the doubt on that one with the out of bounds. Now only 6 points away, half a dozen points away from stealing this set.
Play at the net. Good block there. A couple guys coming together. Loney and McAlpine right in the mix. So we touched on Michael McAlpine being awarded the player of the game in yesterday's win, the first win of the season for Humber men's volleyball.
Take a look at that replay again. A perfect block from Michael McAlpine and Alec Loney teaming up there. And a service ace catches the corner of the box there.
Congolo with another serve.
Now, later half of this, it's been all Hawks here, Matt. They've turned it on, found the rhythm, similar to the previous game here.
How about the serve from Congolo? He really elevates. It's really something to watch. The way he puts that jumping ability into his service game. And not a bad job that time as Boréal right up at the net, giving Humber's blockers all they can handle. But the Hawks do recover and get the point. Good blast from Congolo that time. Loney set up, but the blocking effort right there's. That play is off the net and pushed out of bounds. Another point for the Hawks.
The Hawks staying on top and keeping themselves collected. They see what's at stake at the end of this second set, 2 points away.
So we'll have a little bit of a break in play here as the umpire calls over one of the Vipers team members over.
And we're going to have a yellow card displayed to Alexander Leisure by the umpire. And the women's team is situated to the right of us in the stands, or sorry, the left of us, trying to rally the men's team on the court, as you could hear behind us.
Yeah, so that yellow card issue to Alexandre Leisure. And we'll play some ball now. Congolo's had a few impressive serves, and 2 more would give his team the W here in set number 1. Pardon me, set 2.
And that point there will set up game point for the Humber Hawks, or sorry, set point for the Hawks, I should say, in set number 2.
That finds the line, and Humber winning set number 2 in stylish fashion.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a back and forth between the two teams here to start the second set. But when it came to double digits, the Humber Hawks were able to find the rhythm and just able to completely and calmly steal this set, making themselves go up 2-0 in this game so far, Matt.
Number 14 for Humber, Boffy Congolo winning the match, the set for Humber on the serves. Now, I think Congolo lost track of where we were in the set because he was ready to serve a few more. I think he was feeling himself, didn't necessarily realize that he had brought set number 2 to a close. So the Hawks hungry for some more volleyball. All they have to do is capture another set, and this game is over, and the Hawks will have a 2-0 weekend and improve to 2-2 on the year. But Manny, it's really quite a big weekend for the Hawks, really getting a chance to get their feet under them with some wins on the scoreboard. At least one win from yesterday.
Yeah,
Looking
most
good that they might capture this one. And it was really an important thing after starting the season 0-2.
Yeah, most definitely. It's it's the best way for the Hawks to get on the right side of the season, even up the score here, and try to steal the third set and add the second W to the win column, evening up their record on the season. And just going back to the factor, one thing that I've noticed from the Hawks that they're starting to do a lot on the court, which I was going to mention to you earlier on about Bafi Kongolo's play, was the fact that they're starting to put all their force behind all their attacks, which is allowing the Boréal Vipers to kind of back off from the net, which is also allowing the Humber Hawks to get creative and do a fake play instead of spiking it or attacking the ball. They're just doing the little tip or deflection and dropping that ball right in front of the net, collecting those easy points, keeping the opponents guessing. So look for that to continue into the third set from the Hawks.
Well said, partner. As we look ahead to possibly the concluding set of this game. Keep in mind the Vipers have not won a set in this young season. Vipers 0-4 on the season and hoping to avoid dropping to 0-5 if they can rally here against the Humber Hawks.
And there you see Jusker and Kelsey having a conversation with Jake Gomes on your screen. There's the Boréal Vipers coach Brian Welsh trying to rally them together, get back into this game, and try to get some sort of momentum against the surging Humber Hawks. Hawks have been in control since the opening whistle, Matt, and have not looked back since this volleyball weekend has started, basically.
Yeah, and for the Hawks, we mentioned this will be the fourth game of the season. This is the fourth game of the season for Humber. Now, looking ahead in the schedule, they get 10 days off. They will play not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that at home versus Conestoga. Then the Humber Hawks head on the road for a 3-game stand. They'll be at St. Clair November 17th, taking on the Redeemer Royals November 22nd. And November 26th, they will be at Mohawk, squaring up against the Mountaineers. Then one game December 1st against Sheridan, and then the big break in the month of December before the season part 2 reboots January 14th in the new year. Humber starting off set number 3 with a point, and Jaden Benjamin will be serving, looking to add a few more. Roussel tees it up, but the Hawks are right there at the net, and a net violation will award that point to Humber.
I'm gotta expect Humber to bring the pressure on early on in this third set.
Humber lost their season opener / home opener against the Niagara Knights. But of course, Niagara Knights are right up there in the national rankings, so tough opponent to start your season against. Jaskar and Kelsey heads up play there. So maybe the Hawks looking to establish a bit of a comfortable lead here, up by 2 right now. Kyle Gray Phillips' serve is virtually unreturnable that time.
Yeah, absolutely sending that one with some force behind it, and unable to control that were the Vipers. Easy point for the Hawks.
And a lot of power on that serve, but does not make it over the net.
The serving for Vipers is number 8, Samson.
set up there, and Manning coming right down on that ball. Saffon Manning, excellent work, and Kelsey will get another chance to serve here.
Yeah, take a look at that one there again. The absolute perfection set play for Saffon Manning, right into his wheelhouse.
Michael McAlpine able to come down on that ball, so not really seeing a ton of those Hawks starters in the lineup. Of course, you do see McAlpine, Kelsey, so a couple of those big fellas for Humber getting a look at here. Crowder doing a good job with the block, very nonchalantly helping Humber extend its lead to a margin of 5.
Maximum Crowder didn't even have to really jump for that one, was just able to raise his arms up. And
Must be nice being that tall, right, Manny?
easy to get things off the top shelf.
Sure.
Since it's Christmas season, maybe we could get the help for the lights.
Everybody's looking for the volleyball team when it's time to put up the Christmas decorations. Isn't that always the case?
Well, a volleyball team, basketball team, take your pick. But nonetheless, Boreal Vipers calling a timeout here. Matt, Humber Hawks just running away, scored 8-2 in the third set. The Hawks look comfortable, and they know what's at stake. Well, they don't know shouldn't say what's at stake, but they know what's waiting for them at the end of the whistle here. A 2-2 record and a chance to get on a 500 record for the season.
And of course, quite a number of days off. 10 or so days in between this and the next game for Humber on the schedule. Because the Hawks certainly not used to starting off the season 0-2, that much is for sure. And
yeah, right, you are 10 days. They'll take on the Conestoga Condors.
Humber will get a rematch against the team that handed them their second loss of the season, the Fanshawe Falcons. That'll be January 19th at home. So look for the Hawks to maybe try to right the ship and kind of get back on the good foot there. Now, also they'll get a rematch, the Hawks will, against Niagara on February 1st. So going to have to wait quite a few months before they get their revenge on the team that handed them their first loss of the season.
No issues with that. And Humber, like we said early on in the season, might have some jitters because there are some new faces on this roster and they are skilled, so adjusting to the style may take some time, and getting into the zone might take a game or two, but the Humber Hawks look very comfortable here in game number 4.
The serving for members is number 9,
Yannick Loren serving. And that one's into the net. Humber's lead back at 6.
And just prior to the third set beginning, Matt, some of the women's volleyball team just entered the gymnasium and watching from the stands over there across the gym.
So Manning has helped grow Humber's lead to 7. Lots of heat on that service ace. Fantastic work as Humber now getting close to the halfway point of set number 3.
Yeah, Saffon Manning definitely bringing the heat. Temperature just went up to 17 degrees.
A big hit there. So Manning could really put his team within striking distance of closing out this game if he can dial up a few more serves like that here. And these are pretty mean looking serves.
Some Someone might want to let Jake Gomes know that there's competition in terms of service aces in this game. But Saffon Manning having himself a spectacular moment from serving right now.
Yeah, well, some of those starters like Jake Gomes for Humber didn't get to see a whole lot of time being pulled out in that first set. Too strong as the Hawks will forfeit the point. Coming into the game now for Humber will be some familiar faces. Alec Loney coming back in, along with Bafi Congolo.
And Kyle Gray Phillips and Juskarn Kelsey look like they're going to be heading off. Nope, Kelsey's going to stay on. It'll be Saffon Manning heading off instead.
And that serve catches the net, and if it did get over, that might have been tricky. I don't think Humber had many players in position to defend that one. Crowder finds a sweet spot.
Hawks putting on a strong third. Take a look at that one again. Amazing drop shot, or drop serve by Crowder. Get point number 16 for the Hawks. Crowder not able to get that one over the net for a point and a turnover in terms of serve for the Boreal Vipers. It'll be Tyler Roussel, who had some repair work done in the earlier stages of this game.
Yeah, that's right. Still has that bandage over his eye. And a good blocking effort by Humber, but that point goes in favor of the Vipers. Give credit to Alexandre Leger.
Yeah, a little bit of a run here from the Vipers there. Kelsey got the block, but just not able to keep it inbounds alive.
McAlpine steps up from the back row, somehow kept alive by the Vipers. Congolo makes the ball over towards Kelsey, who makes no mistake. Humber now up by a nice 10-point lead.
Yeah, Humber knew exactly what they wanted to do. Juskarn Kelsey was the intended target from all along, and he made no mistakes.
Roussel tries to tip it up. We'll have another net violation charged against the Vipers.
Alexandre Leger trying to argue that net violation call, but
and a heads-up play. Loney stepping right up with the quick blast up at the net for Humber. Hawks now within 6 points of putting this game away. That would be the third straight set. Let's see what kind of damage we get from Kyle Gray Phillips. Pardon me, that was Jaden Benjamin with the serve, actually. Kelsey with the point up front for Humber. Benjamin going back to work here.
yeah, and now you can count the points. Hawks need to win this game on a single hand.
Hit long. No tip from the Hawks as the point goes to the home team, and now just 4 away. Jaden Benjamin puts the ball in play. Great block up front. Kelsey was all over it.
Yeah, Alexandre Leger once again not happy with the call. Take a look at that replay from the Hawks. Kelsey with a perfect block. Leger was trying to get the referee's attention there, but point stays with the Hawks.
Nice looking serve from Jaden Benjamin. Congolo pops it up, set up for Loney, who finds a sweet spot. A couple of Vipers in the area, Manny, but Humber is celebrating because that one just fell right in the middle of no man's land.
Yeah, they were all kind of going for it, but no one really called the ball out and saying who's going to go for it there. You see number 15, Tyler Roussel, going for that, but nobody called it out, confusing the Vipers, and once again, Humber takes advantage.
Leisure now serving. McAlpine put the finishing touches on that quick rally, and now Humber could put the finishing touches on this ball game. Just 1 point away from a 3 straight sets victory, and what will be a very good weekend for Humber Hawks men's volleyball. And bouncing back after that 0-2 start. 2-2, a much better foundation to work from here going forward. And 2-2 they are. That does it here from this matchup between Humber and Boréal. The Hawks celebrating. You can see there on the left of your screen, Manny, all smiles, as you really got to feel the Hawks are liking the direction things are going after 2 tough losses early in the season.
Yeah, what a spectacular showing for the Humber Hawks here, coming in at the Hawks Nest and absolutely putting on a performance in front of the home crowd and other athletes here in presence. But 2-2 is the record, evening up the season, and the defending provincial champions are looking forward to add to that tally. And as you mentioned, they'll take on the Conestoga Condors. They'll have a couple of days of rest. November 16th will be the next game for the Hawks here inside the Hawks Nest, so we'll be having that one to look forward to, Matt.
You bet, partner. As the handshakes go down, some good sportsmanship shown from both teams, and there's a look. Hawks really dialing it up in that third set to put this one away.
Yeah, both men's and women's teams sweeping 3-0 on the Boréal Vipers, and just making an absolute amazing volleyball weekend here at Humber College.
We appreciate you watching the Hawks Sports Network. Stay tuned. We have our live broadcast of Humber Sports here live at the North Campus Gym anytime there's a home game, so we always love to have you with us. Hope you have a great Sunday afternoon. The Hawks toppling the Boréal Vipers in 3 straight sets here.